besides being legendary singers of two great rock bands, the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. Paul McCartney and Mick Jagger are powerful men who know how to enjoy their wealth. But have you ever stopped to wonder about which one of them leads the most luxurious life? In this video, you will watch a close battle between Paul McCartney and Mick Jagger. So then, let's get to the fight. Before we get started, I challenge you. You have to click on subscribe and activate notifications, check the option all. But you have to do that in less than 5 seconds. You got it? And if you can, write in the comments #AllAboutSubscribe. Alright, let's get started. Round 1. Cars. Both Mick Jagger and Paul McCartney are world-famous singers, and with such financial wealth, both can afford luxury cars. But the question is, which one of them has a more expensive garage? Some of the cars that have passed through Paul McCartney's garage are a $30,000 Ford Consul Classic 315, a $33,000 Ford Bronco 198, a $35,000 Land Rover Series I-86 station wagon from 1955. His favorite, a $37,000 Chevrolet C5 Corvette, a $65,000 1973 Rolls-Royce Corniche, a $85,000 Austin Healey 3000 from 1966, a $130,000 Lexus LS600H, a $180,000 Lamborghini S2 Espada 1972, a Mini Cooper from 1965 that was auctioned off for $235,000. Raising the values up even higher, Paul McCartney owned a historic Lamborghini 400 GT from 1967 that was sold off at auction for $400,000. But, without a doubt, the most iconic car that passed through the singer's garage was his Aston Martin DB5 from 1964, and it was inside this car that Paul wrote the song Hey Jude. To give you an idea of how precious this car is, it sold at an auction in 2017 for an impressive $1,300,000. Mick Jagger, on the other hand, besides four-wheeled vehicles, the singer also likes motorcycles, such as his BMW F700 GS with 2 cylinders and a modern design, which costs around $10,000. Now, speaking of the classics, one of Mick Jagger's cheapest cars was a 1969 Morgan Plus 8, a car that might be worth around $48,000. The singer has also owned a comfortable and more modern Mercedes S550, a vehicle capable of driving up to 155 miles per hour. And to own such a car, you must pay something around $110,000. He has also once owned a Silver Cloud 3, a classic Rolls-Royce equipped with an amazing V8 engine, being the best of its class in the 1960s. Being so, it is no wonder that this rare car costs around $130,000. Getting even pricier, Mick Jagger once owned a 1966 Aston Martin DB6, which was bought by the singer in the year of its release and must have cost him loads of cash. To give you an idea of how unique this vehicle is, you can currently find this collectible in pristine condition for up to $800,000. Another iconic car that the singer made a point of personally going to Italy in the 1980s to purchase is a Ferrari 288 GTO, a very stylish vehicle that had only 272 produced models. No wonder you can currently find this supercar at auctions for around $3 million. Taking into account the value of the cars added together, the one who wins this round is Mick Jagger. Round 2. Properties in the US. The two English singers like to invest in real estate on American soil. But which one of them owns more luxurious residences? In 2020, Mick Jagger acquired a mansion in the Lakewood Ranch area in the U.S. state of Florida. The house, built in 2008, stands on an extensive peninsular plot surrounded by a lake and beautiful landscaping. The singer can relish the 5,700 square feet of living space in the residence, all spread over 4 comfortable bedrooms and 6 bathrooms. The house's kitchen is integrated with a pantry, having wooden furniture and granite countertops, with an open view to a large island in the area. The place also features a very well-lit office overlooking the lake, and a living room with a large bookcase all filled up. The upstairs layout feels like its own single-family home with a split-bedroom floor plan that gives the master suite its own living room, a balcony with a fireplace, and a social area that serves as a bar or summer kitchen. Moving over, the outdoor area resembles more a vacation resort, with a giant swimming pool, a hot tub, a barbecue area, and several common areas with armchairs and fireplaces in order to spend an afternoon relaxing. And to acquire this estate inside the Lake Club luxurious condominium, the vocalist Mick Jagger paid, at the time, approximately $2 million. Paul McCartney is not left behind in this dispute. He once owned a triplex apartment located on Manhattan's prime Fifth Avenue, overlooking Central Park. The 3,500 square foot residence is filled with floor-to-ceiling windows which allows for lush landscaping. The apartment has a classic and retro architecture and features colorful wallpapers, plus lots of wooden furniture. The area is spread over 5 bedrooms and 5 bathrooms. It is known that McCartney bought this property in 2015 for $15,500,000, but after holding onto the property for quite a while, he ended up selling it at a loss. He also once owned a 2-acre estate including a French-style home located in Hollywood Hills, California. Built in 1930, the 4,700 square foot residence cost $4 million out of Paul's pockets at the time of purchase, but today the property is probably worth double that amount. In this same region, many sources speculate that the artist once lived in an incredible mansion that was also home to other celebrities, such as Madonna. Built in the early 1940s, the 15,000 square foot residence sits on a lot of nearly 1.5 acres. The architectural landscape features a vast wooded backyard involving lush gardens, stone walkways, and beautiful views. The main door opens into the hallway, which leads into a cozy living room with a grand piano and ceilings with the visible wood structures that provide a rustic design. The main house is spacious and offers 2 master suites and 3 family bedrooms, as well as 3 bathrooms and 7 sinks. For entertainment, the property offers a movie theater with a huge screen, a 2-lane vintage bowling alley, a complete game room, a well-illuminated tennis court, and an area for practicing golf. In order to have fun on the warmer days, there is a swimming pool and a spa available to the residents. In addition, there is a guest house with 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms in order to accommodate visitors in comfort. It is not known for sure if Paul McCartney bought or rented this beautiful property, but what is known is that the rent is $100,000 and the house is worth approximately $23 million. Since the Beatles singer lives in homes that are more expensive than those of his opponent, he wins this round. Round 3. Jet. When it comes to getting around to different places in the world, the two singers have spotted making use of beautiful aircrafts. When it comes to private aircrafts, the music group the Rolling Stones have already made use of a few planes to perform their trips and concerts around the world. One of the models they used to use was a Boeing 737, which hadn't been modified internally, retaining the standard 68 business class seats. After that, they moved on to a larger aircraft, a Boeing 767, which was painted on the outside with the music group's logo. Both planes were leased. Today, Mick Jagger also continues to use chartered flights for more privacy and comfort. McCartney, on the other hand, doesn't mind spending a lot of money on chartered jets. The rock legend almost never travels on commercial planes. After all, he likes comfort and privacy. To get an idea of prices, depending on the model and size of the jet chosen, 1 hour of flight can cost up to $20,000. Since both stars charter their jets, we consider this round tied. Round 4. Other estates. In this round, you will find out which of the two has a more diverse real estate portfolio. Will it be Mick Jagger or Paul McCartney? Currently, the singer of the Beatles owns a few properties located in England, including his giant 150-acre estate called Blossomwood Farm, located in the village of Peasmarsh in East Sussex County. When he was married to his second wife Linda McCartney, Paul lived a good portion of his life with his family at High Park Farm, Kintyre, Scotland. Purchased in 1966, the property was a quiet, peaceful retreat for the singer to raise his family, away from the highlights. Leading a very simple life on this property that kept expanding until reaching over 1,000 acres of land, the artist enjoyed raising many animals, and it was during this time that he developed his support of veganism. However, after the unfortunate death of his wife Linda in 1998, Paul began to greatly reduce his visits to this amazing country estate. Mick Jagger also has a 16th-century French castle called La Fourchette in his extensive real estate portfolio, which once belonged to one of Prince Louis XVI's noblemen. The property has a total of 20 acres of land, surrounded by lush gardens and woods, being itself a true haven of peace in the Valley of Kings, as Mick himself has described his estate. This is where he has spent much of his quarantine, living in rural style, tending to his vegetable garden and the animals he raises there. The singer acquired this castle in 1982, paying at that time £2,200,000. But surely this truly natural refuge must be worth a lot more these days. The lead singer of the band The Rolling Stones also makes real estate purchases as a form of investment. An example of this is his Japanese-inspired beachfront estate that is located on the Caribbean island of Mustique. Nicknamed Stargrove's Villa, this is a vacation lodge that can be rented by anyone who wants to relax whilst enjoying the Caribbean sea breeze. This enterprise can accommodate up to 10 people in 6 bedrooms and has spacious living areas and balconies. Other amenities include a large swimming pool made to resemble a lake, a game room, and a media room. The lodge also offers butler services, a chef, 2 gardeners, and 3 housekeepers, as well as a jeep for island tours. And to spend a season in this paradise belonging to Mick Jagger, you will need to disburse, for every night stayed, up to $4,300. In addition, the singer owns another profitable house on this island, the 2 properties being very close to each other. We are talking about the Pelican Beach, a family villa that offers 5 bedrooms, besides having a guest house that includes 4 more bedrooms. And to spend a week at this lodge, you have cash out up to $30,000. Since the lead singer of the Rolling Stones has a higher number of properties, he wins this round. Round 5. Relationships. Rock stars like Mick Jagger and Paul McCartney always show up on the news because of developments in their love lives. But which one of them has had more girlfriends? Paul had a 3-year relationship with Roan and even bought her a gold ring in order to get married because she had gotten pregnant in 1960. However, she had a miscarriage, and as Paul was only 20 years old, he didn't want to get married so soon, so the relationship ended in 1962. He also had a brief relationship with Thelma Pickles, who had previously dated Lennon. After that, he fell in love with Isis Caldwell, who had also been the girlfriend of guitarist George Harrison. In London, McCartney had a 5-year relationship with actress Jane Asher after they met in 1963. They lived together for 3 years, and his beloved inspired him to write songs such as "And I Love Her," "You Won't See Me," and "I'm Looking Through You." In late 1967, they announced their engagement, but split up the following year after the young woman caught the singer cheating. Officially, Paul has been married 3 times. His first wife was the photographer Linda Eastman, who seemed to be the true love of his life. They met in 1967, married 2 years later, and had 3 children, until they were forced apart by Linda's unfortunate death from breast cancer in 1998. His second wife was Heather Mills, with whom he had his daughter Beatrice in 2003. But 3 years later, the singer filed for divorce, awarding Mills a settlement of £24,300,000, the equivalent of about $38,500,000. In November 2007, McCartney began dating Nancy Shevell, and they decided to marry in 2011. She was the inspiration for the song My Valentine. Mick Jagger is not far behind in this dispute. Before blowing up in the music industry, he dated Chrissy Shrimpton, a British model who would go on to pursue an acting career, in 1963. They even got engaged, but the relationship ended after he fell in love with the singer Marianne Faithfull 3 years later. Alongside his new girlfriend, the artist was even arrested when he was caught carrying illegal substances in 1967. Jagger and Marianne's relationship ended in 1970 after it was found out about Mick's affair with Anita Pallenberg, who co-starred with him in the film performance. In addition, the Rolling Stones vocalist got model Marsha Hunt pregnant in 1969, resulting in the birth of Jagger's first daughter, named Karis. And his ex-wife didn't let this go unpunished and took revenge by cheating on the star as well. Soon after, Jagger met the Nicaraguan Bianca Perez Mora Macias, and they married in France whilst she was already pregnant with his second daughter, Jade. The relationship ended in 1979, and the reason for the breakup was the singer's affair with a supermodel called Jerry Hall, with whom he had a 22-year relationship. With Jerry, Mick Jagger had 4 children: Elizabeth Scarlett, James Leroy, Georgia May, and Gabriel Luke. They broke up in 1999 after it was discovered that the singer had impregnated the model and famous Brazilian show host Luciana Jimenez. In 2001, he dated Lauren Scott, who was a model, stylist, and fashion designer, and they stayed together until 2014 when she took her own life in her apartment. After that, Mick Jagger dated the ballerina Melanie Hamrick, who is 43 years younger than him, with whom in 2016, at the age of 73, the singer had his 8th child. Everything points that the two are together to this day. This entire timeline of the rock star's relationships does not take into account other quick involvements he has had, such as with the actress Angelina Jolie and 22-year-old Noor Al-Fallah. Since the love life of Mick Jagger has always had a lot more action, he wins this round. A point to this handsome man. 6th round. Net worth. Paul McCartney and Mick Jagger have had a very similar time period for their careers, but the question is, which one has amassed a greater net worth? There's no doubt that the Rolling Stones are one of the most successful rock bands in the world. And with resounding success for almost 60 years of its existence, its members, mainly the most famous, Mick Jagger, have made a lot of money. The group has released 23 albums and sold more than 250 million copies worldwide, and from this number alone you can already imagine how much they have profited. But without a doubt, the Rolling Stones' biggest source of income are their concerts. They are always leading the ranking of the world's most profitable tours, such as in 2018, which summed up to approximately $117 million, according to the Forbes magazine. And even despite the pandemic and the loss of drummer Charlie Watts, the group made $115 million in 2021 with only 12 shows in the No Filter tour. Their most profitable tour was a Bigger Bang tour, which lasted from 2005 to 2007 and grossed an impressive $558 million, making it the 4th highest grossing tour of all time, behind only Ed Sheeran, U2, and Guns N' Roses. And of course, the group's leader, Mick Jagger, can be considered the richest of the 27 members who have participated in the Rolling Stones. After all, he has been the lead singer since their genesis in 1962. Not to mention that he also makes a lot of money performing solo. To get an idea of values, some sources estimate that the group's total fortune is around $1,450 million, whilst the rock star's net worth is approximately $500 million. There's no doubt that Paul McCartney is among the richest rock stars in history. After all, he's had over 60 years of a thunderous career, selling millions of records and gathering crowds at concerts. While still a member of the Beatles, the artist achieved 6 gold records and sold over 100 million singles. In the years that he tours extensively, Paul easily earns $70 million on his own. To give you an idea, the Beatles co-founder has grossed just over $100 million from solo shows in 2019, according to Forbes magazine. But in addition to that source of income, he earns tens of millions a year in royalties and licensing fees. These fees are earned both from his own music and from a valuable portfolio of other artists' royalties through his record label, MPL Communications. This company holds the copyright to songs by singers like Buddy Holly, Carl Perkins, and many others. Not to mention the money he has already received for the various films and documentaries about the trajectory of the Beatles and his life. Currently, at the age of 80, Paul McCartney has an estimated net worth of $1,280 million and is considered the richest musician in the world. So, it is very clear that the winner of this round is Paul McCartney. Point to him. However, in this video we are evaluating who shows off and who enjoys their lives the most. With this in mind, let's get down to the sum of the points. At the end of this battle, we have 3 points for Paul McCartney against 4 points for Mick Jagger, making the Rolling Stones singer the champion of this fight. But if you believe that there are still other arguments to defend either one of the two, Please write down below your best justification. Hey, you like the video? So don't forget about leave your like and comment, and tell some suggestions of another videos, and hopefully we gonna do it. All about channel, Dios to satisfy your curiosity.